So, basically, we are still trying to get off this island and not having any luck. We just got done actually fighting a sea monster that attacked us when we found a speedboat and tried to go off for help. So that was fun. I wish I was kidding. It was an actual fucking sea monster. And not only that, but then when we got done fighting this sea monster that had no reason to be here, we were accosted by the island's natives who are basically the Na'vi from a James Cameron Avatar sequel, and they're telepathic, and they are convinced that they need to kidnap me or else the world is going to end. So now we have a telepathic stalker on top of everything. Oh yeah, and we kissed Jake. That was the other thing that no one is addressing. No one has said a word. We haven't said a word. Jake hasn't said a word. No one has said a word, and I feel like this is a big deal. I'm just saying. My Aero Ace ass thinks this is a big deal, but ain't nobody saying nothing, so yeah. Echo's here tonight, yay! I watched a kid in my class rip off his jacket and his shirt with it while belting Greased Lightning in a play preview in front of the whole school. Oh my, yeah, that would probably traumatize me too. Nipples when I didn't necessarily volunteer to see nipples. I'm trying to think of why it would even be appropriate to rip off your shirt during that song. Are the aloes okay? Because I've seen a lot of evidence lately that suggests to me that the aloes are not okay. With that, we're going to start chapter 13. So, the stinger for chapter 13 says, a mysterious telepathic civilization watches from the rainforest, and they only want one thing, you. What do they want us for and why, apart from the whole apocalypse thing? Let's find out! Get my shit ready. Okay. I'm a professional streamer, I promise. So this is Act 3, Chapter 13. One of us isn't supposed to be here. Ooh. Sounds like this is gonna get good. 20 stories up, you and your friends survey the island from the Celestial's rooftop garden. All is quiet. The flowers are glowing. That's a mountain from Kauai in the background, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is going great. As Sean leads the group back toward the elevator, Furball nudges at your ankles. Or nuzzles at your ankles. Oh, baby. He's worried. He's worried about us. Yeah, I'm scared too. You notice Diego biting his lip, not moving. Diego? What's wrong? Besides everything? Yeah, besides that. It's just... Sure, I get the plan. We're sealing ourselves in. But who are we sealing ourselves in with? Oh my god, the genre savvy everywhere. Take another drink. Whew. I got a fresh bottle of bourbon and I guess it's a good thing. Okay. Whew. My drink's not that strong, it's fine. What do you mean? Nothing here is adding up. And remember what we talked about when we got here? How there are 11 students on this trip when there were supposed to be 10? Diego, stop it! One of us isn't supposed to be here. Diego, we can say, none of us are supposed to be here, or all of us are supposed to be here. Okay. What Ace would say is none of us are supposed to be here, but that is not helpful right now, so I'm going to be encouraging all of us are supposed to be here. Huh? I'm just saying. I think this place is our destiny. All of us, whether we won some contest or not. This is the adventure we always talked about. And nobody ever said adventure would be safe. What? We always talked about adventure? I guess? Sure. Hey, we got a point. He's happy. You know, maybe you're right about that. With a grin, Diego walks past you, joining the others in the elevator. I recall that a hidden tunnel exists, leading into the main resort tower. Kira, if the Watchers find it, there'll be no stopping them. Iris, do you know where the entrance is? Scanning. No blueprints found. Cross-referencing. Matches 4 files containing term wine cellar. What? It's in the wine cellar? Where is that? Oh, I think I saw the stairs down to it in the restaurant. I'll head over there and see if I can find this secret tunnel. I feel like you shouldn't be going alone. Do you want to come with? I'm not sure I could find it on my own. Well, you're the one who knows where it is, so I feel like you are going to be the one finding it, but... You look back at the heavy lobby furniture and all the windows you have to block off. Wow! Wow, we are literally thinking about just using this to get out of work. We can go with her for 18 diamonds or keep moving furniture. I really feel like she shouldn't be alone. I'm gonna go with her. Great! Let's go! Plus we find a clue if we go with her. Quinn leads you toward Tortuga, the Celestial's famous restaurant. Which we've heard of? I don't know. You wind through the kitchen until... Oh, here it is! Together, you lift the trapdoor, revealing a spiral staircase leading down into darkness. Think it's safe down there? No. What do you say we find out? We are very cavalier. We've died like at least twice, maybe 3 times. We are very cavalier about this, honestly. Maybe 4 times. By all means, after you, Quinn, with the genre savvy. Don't go first. Take a drink. I've already scattered broken glass along a number of hallways. We'll hear the crunch if any intruders sneak in. Are you sure? Because unless we're sitting, like, at the end of that hallway, we probably won't hear it. We may, in fact, hear the screaming. Are there Legos anywhere in here? Because I'm just saying, Legos. And, what are you doing now? Grace, you're not in charge of this? Lila absently looks down, like she had no clue what she was doing. She's stripping a thick bundle of electrical wires. How do you forget you're doing that? Stripping wires is a pain in the ass. Honestly. Oh, this? I ripped them out of the wall. We can flood the entrance with a very thin layer of water and leave the exposed wiring in the puddle. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is getting dark quick. She's like going for the kill. That way, we just have to flip on the switch and instantly electrocute any intruders. Easy peasy. Oh my god! Seriously, we were just gonna be happy with, like, chasing them off. Lila is plotting murder over here. Oh my god! This... Also, like, this really wouldn't work. You would trip the breaker first. But... on top of all this, if this does work, because we're on an island with saber-toothed tigers, let's suspend all reality and say this does work. That is a terrible way to die. Like, the thing about electrocution is it's like burning. You're not only going to die, but it's going to hurt the entire time you're dying. But yeah, you're going to blow the breaker first, is what you're going to do. Hopefully, those are on a dedicated circuit that's not going to kill all the power through the entire complex. In any case, we have some more materials to use. The question is, what do we do with them? For instance, this can of oil-based paint. Very slick. Okay. Don't know why you have oil-based paint here, but sure. And I shouldn't have to say this, but given present company, I feel I must. Please don't get it in your eyes. In fact, I suggest we... Are we gonna have Alistair insisting on safety goggles now? Dump it on a staircase so the watchers can't slip down and can't follow us up. Huh, sweet. Oh my god, Raj, I was going to suggest we fill these balloons with it and use them to blind our enemies. Okay. I really don't feel like either of these are a good use of oil-based paint, although I'm really not sure what I would do with it, but I'm thinking it's not either of these two. Also, how are we going to fill balloons with it? I feel like people don't understand that it takes pressure to fill balloons. So, like, do we have a funnel laying around? We must have a funnel laying around, because that's literally the only way you're going to get the paint inside these balloons. And then just, like, fucking hope for the best, I guess. What do you think, Kira? Oh my god, don't put this on me. Let's use a paint so we can say to fill balloons and blind them, or on the staircase so they slip. Okay, the problem with using it on the staircase is we have no guarantees that this is actually gonna stay wet long enough to be an effective trap, so we're going to fill the balloons and blind them. The obvious choice. Yeah, sorry, Raj. Oh, man. Either way, it's sure to cause devastating injuries. How exciting! We still have the matter of this compressed oxygen tank we found. It was in a suitcase of scuba gear. Oh god. Oh, nice! That tank is highly pressurized. If we knock off the nozzle cap, we could launch it like a missile. That'd do some damage. Okay. Well, my idea isn't exactly a trap, but if we store the tank underwater, say behind the waterfall of the pool, we could hide down there in case we're being chased without having to come up for air. Let's use the oxygen tank, we can say as a missile or to hide underwater. The thing about hiding underwater is they're just gonna keep searching until they find us if we hide. So I'm not really on board with the hiding plan, personally. Oh my god, I'm like tangled and stuff. Sorry, Grace, but at this point I'm looking for weaponry, so... By the way, using compressed gas cylinders as missiles is incredibly dangerous. This shit will go through concrete walls, cinder block walls. Just... like... They are legitimately dangerous. Scuba tank, you know, is not tons of gas. You know, it's not like, you know, the helium cylinders that you see at the grocery store where they fill the balloons. But it's still pretty hefty. It will make a very good missile. Duh. Thanks for the thumbs up, but I don't really need your approval, okay? Hooray! Good thinking, team. We are capable of all sorts of destruction when we work together. Oh my god, what is happening? Why has our tour guide become so, like, gun happy. This is scary. I want a refund. When it all hits the fan, Kira, you're going to wish you knew a thing or two about self-defense. You know, I could teach you if you want. We could head down to the beach for some one-on-one time. We haven't barricaded the rear entrance yet, but it's inside the resort walls, so we'd be safe. You're gonna pull the whole, like, ooh, one-on-one time thing, and you're not gonna address the fact that I kissed you. Obviously, I was very forgettable. Salty about it. Oh, well. That's if you think you could handle things getting a little rough. Hey. Save that shit for book 2, Jake. Save it for book 2. Or you could go there with me, someone you could actually learn something from. Ouch! Shots fired. I love it. Please, continue. We can say, then why don't you both teach me for 18 diamonds, or I'm sure I'll be okay without it, right? So they let both Jake and Sean spread lotion on me earlier in the last episode. So I feel like this is gonna get good. Then why don't you both teach me? This is gonna be great. Huh. Works for me. Come on down to the beach. There, it won't hurt so much when you get knocked on your ass. It hurts no matter where you are when you get knocked on your ass. It just hurts. Even on mats, it still hurts. Just not as much. Ever been in a fight before, Kira? So we can say too many. With me, things come to blows quickly. Wow. No way! I avoid it like the plague. Or, I've never needed fists to get what I want. Honestly, as many times as we've been other characters' therapists, just in the past 13 chapters alone, I'm gonna say I've never needed fists to get what I want. Huh. Oh, yeah? Nobody ever wants to fight me. I usually just charm the pants off people. Wow! The pants! Everybody's taking their shirt off. It sounds like Estella's probably taken her pants off and she's in her underwear or her, like, full bikini. The pants. Are the aloes okay? Literally? Thank you, Estella. Thank you. Thank you. Genre savvy, take a drink. If the situation calls for it. I love it. I love it. Haha, that's what I like to hear. Shut up, Jake. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to my stabby crush over here. Okay, so do we spar with Jake or Estella? Well, again, I feel like we still need the points with Estella, so it's her technique. She's gonna know exactly how to beat it, so good choice. No point beating on cupcakes. No point beating on cupcakes? I don't know what that means. You know, I'm not even gonna take that as an insult. Cupcakes are delicious. Jake? Honey. You're too salty to be a cupcake. Okay. Well, you definitely showed some mettle. Those tricks will come in handy. Yeah, when all hell breaks loose, I'll bet you last 5, 6 seconds. Most fights last less than 15 seconds, to be perfectly frank. And that's even, I think the longest fight I ever fought was maybe 20 seconds? And that was easily against 4 or 5 people. So, yeah, it really doesn't take much. Like, this is assuming that everybody pretty much just runs in. It can last longer if people are like circling and trying to be technique savvy, but once you actually like get in and start hitting people, yeah, it's like 10 seconds at most is really all you have to last. Maybe even 7. Wow, thanks for the votes of confidence, you two. Smiling, you look past Zara, and your gaze falls on a game cabinet nestled against the wall. Hey, I recognize this. Raj found a picture of Rook playing this game. You think back to the inscription on the photo. The Celestial's proprietor, Everett A. Rourke, gets a perfect score yet again on his favorite arcade game, a prized possession. Most Wanted 2? That's that series based on those crazy murder cases in LA, right? This is... yeah, total cult classic. This is actually a gigantic reference for one of Choice's other stories. Like, this is literally an ad for it, is what it is. You rest your hands on the controls, and a strange feeling comes over you. Why am I getting the crazy feeling that this game is important somehow? Why don't you give it a try? See what happens. Warning. The game is notoriously difficult. Few can match Rourke's perfect score. You got 1 million points! The perfect score! I did it! Huh, way to beat the system, Kira. Got a point with Zara, yeah. We're still not friends with her, though. You're going to jail, bad guy! Wow! Oh my god. On screen, the 2 little sprites leap into the air and high-five. I'm picturing this and it's adorable. It's like Wreck-It Ralph. Da-da-da-da. I don't know. Aw, I thought they were gonna kiss. Stop forcing your heteronormativity on everybody, Craig. Your allo-heteronormativity. Congratulations on the high score. Enter your initials. Okay. It's letting you put in your first, middle, and last initials. What are you gonna type, Kira? Okay, well, remember this game was important to Rourke, so I'm gonna put in Rourke's initials here. Jar-ear, I think. Okay, do I have to have it caps locked? I think I do. E-A-R. Guys, look! Behind you, a panel appears in the wall and slides open, revealing a hall. Haha, now that's what I'm talking about. Let's go see what Rourke Boy was hiding. Cool, big red buttons. Do we push the big red button? T-E-R-S. What's this? Searching. Reconstructing corrupted memory. It is the Tsunami Emergency Response System. In the event of a tidal wave, the Celestial was built with industrial steel shutters that can descend and seal off all doors and windows on the lower 10 floors. Okay. Once activated, the shutters remain on lockdown for 12 hours. Sealing off the bottom half of the hotel from any ground attack? Hey, that sounds pretty good right about now. Yeah, no way those rainforest peeps could get through that. This is a no-brainer. For you, Craig, everything is a no-brainer. You don't think we should do it, Zara? I'm just saying, it's a 12-hour lockdown. If they can't get in, then we can't get out. So, if something happens... Let's just say I'm somebody who likes to know her escape route. That is a very fine point. I like this point. You look down at the button. And so we have the option to don't press it or lower the shutters. Yeah, I'm not going to press it. I'm with Zara. I want to have a way out, so... You're rummaging through a couple of drawers when you hear a tremble in Craig's voice. Kira? You're gonna want to take a look at this. Craig offers you something in his hand. A plain manila folder. The kind you've seen before on this island. And on the Polaroid clipped to the front is... Oh my god. Oh, cool, it's our picture, so let's examine that. It's me. They have a report on you too? Kira, you gotta read it. They're gonna make me pay for this? I forget. With a lump in your throat, you delicately open the folder's cover. Oh, they're not going to. Okay. I forget. So, target analysis, clearance omega, surname blank, first blank, middle blank, date of birth 1996 January 1, birthplace La Huerta Greater Antilles, background blank, psychological profile blank, who is she, threat assessment 10 with, kind of looks like a DNA chain maybe, double helix thing, I'm not sure, or stamp, but okay. Interesting. I was not born on La Huerta, I'm pretty sure. Just then, a second sheet falls out of the folder, dropping onto the floor. You kneel to pick it up. This one is on much newer paper, as if it were just printed, and instantly you recognize the face in the photo on it. Alistair! Okay. So this is IRIS System-Wide Alert. Timestamp 0730 hours. Update. Asset codenamed Serpens, born 19 August 1995, Cambridge, England. Okay, so my bastardized British accent hasn't been completely off base. Has somehow gained access to the plane. He is on his way to La Huerta. The guide responsible will be fired. Okay, so I guess Alistair's the one who's not supposed to be there? Analysis. Situation appears problematic, but the statistics predict that this may turn out to be a good development, so long as the, quote, selected never learns his identity. Everett must be contacted immediately upon plane's arrival. Threat assessment 8, with a stamp that looks like fangs, but it's in blue, and everybody else's has been in red. That's interesting. Interesting. Also, why is he codenamed Serpens? That's weird. I think it's time we had a little chat with our classmate. You gather the others and track down Alistair up at the rooftop garden. You find him talking awkwardly with Grace by the railing. Or rather, what I'm trying to tell you is... Yes, Alistair? It's simply a matter of wanting to be forthright. Yeah, maybe you can start being forthright about this. Alistair and Grace turn to the rest of the group facing them. Each one of them eyes Alistair coldly. What in heaven's name are you blathering about? Excuse you, blathering. You can say, I think you owe us an explanation, or you're a backstabbing traitor. I don't feel like we actually have enough information to call him a backstabbing traitor. However, I feel like everybody else feels like he's a backstabbing traitor, so do I side with my group, or do I side with Alistair? I think I'm gonna go with the diplomatic answer here. I think you owe us an explanation. We're your friends, Alistair. You owe us at least that much. What the hell, Kira? This freak isn't our friend, he's a spy! That talk is not helpful, Craig. Yeah, why are you taking it so easy on him? Again, not helpful, Zara. Kira, what's happening? Why is everyone so angry? That's what we're here to find out. You hand Alistair the report you found. As his eyes scan the words, his face goes cold. Grace reads from beside him. Her eyes flick up to Alistair, and betrayal washes over her expression. She backs away. Alistair, you're... Grace, it's not what it looks like. You think you can see tears welling up in his eyes. Oh, Sean, where did you come from? It's time to tell the truth, Alistair. You've got one chance to tell us everything. How long have you been working for Everett Rourke? I'm not... Quit lying. It says right there that Everett was to be contacted when you arrived. You're working with him. I am not. I can't be. Huh? Why not? Because I am Everett Rourke. I'm sorry, you're who? You are not evil Tony Stark. You don't even look like evil Tony Stark. What the hell? In an instant, everyone falls silent. Alistair's eyes fall to his shoes. He speaks through a grimace. Not the Everett Rourke. My name is Everett Alistair Rourke the Second. You're Junior! You're Chip. The man who built this place, the man who brought all of you here, is my father. Dun dun dun! You're the boss man's son, and that's supposed to make us trust you? Yeah, tell each other how to feel each other up? Yeah, kinda. What's the deal? Did he plant you here to spy on us? Is he listening in right now? No! For God's sake, I'm not a spy! I don't know. I think he sounds sincere. That's what spies do. That's like literally their basic job. Okay, but Alistair is like 20, so yeah. So we can say I believe him or I don't believe him. Unfortunately, I still need Alistair to at least not dislike me, so I believe him. Cool, he doesn't dislike me anymore. Awesome. That's what I needed. You do? If you're not a spy, what are you doing here? Why did you lie your way onto the trip? Alistair lets out a long sigh and turns to the railing, gazing out over the island. This is the moment to be contemplative, apparently. My whole life, all I ever wanted was his approval, his respect. For him to look at me with pride, to embrace me as his heir. He was always gone on one business trip or another, always occupied with his resort or his research projects. My 10th birthday? He was in Kyoto, unveiling his new fusion-powered bullet train. My high school graduation? He was in Moscow, negotiating a trans-European trade agreement. Wow, what a fucking jerk. And still, I thought I could impress him. If I just achieved enough, if I followed in his footsteps, he'd finally recognize me for what I'm worth. Wow. Okay, that's pretty sad, not gonna lie. Alistair. He promised me that we'd spend time together this summer, that he'd show me the intricacies of his business, that he'd consider bringing me in. He cancelled, of course, as he is wont to do, but that wasn't the worst part. No. The worst part was when I discovered that 10 students from my very college would be randomly selected to take a trip to his prized island while he was there. Wow. Rourke was here? I sent him a furious letter, and lo and behold, I got an email inviting me to come along after all. Perhaps he meant to make amends. Well, I wasn't planning to make amends. I planned to confront my father, to tell him how I truly felt, to sever myself from this blasted family once and for all. Wow, okay. Alistair was gonna, salt the earth, I guess. I planned all that, but then we hit that storm, and now I realize how foolish I was. My father is gone, for all I know deceased, and I'm stranded here, where I'll probably die too, and he'll never even know my true feelings. Okay. I don't know how you want me to feel about that, Alistair. Not to interrupt the therapy session, but is anyone else seeing that? Well, I guess that means we've been acting as Alistair's therapist, so take a drink. She points out over the railing. There, you see the island's sprawling jungle, and reaching out from it like grasping fingers are a half-dozen columns of smoke. The Watchers. Using smoke signals at night, which is not when you should use smoke signals. They're not hiding anymore. They're gearing up. Unless it's like them making camp or something, I guess. Maybe that's it. Getting ready for war. My guess is they'll strike at first light. A cold wind blows over you. Your conflict suddenly seems so small, so trivial. I'm gonna go back downstairs. Me too. Yeah, no point staying up here. Oh, poor furball, he's upset. Baby. One by one, you all head back downstairs, leaving Alistair alone on the rooftop, gazing out into the night. All angsty-like. You walk away from the windows. That's when you notice Grace, sitting all by herself. And looking kind of sad. You walk over and take a seat next to her. Hey. Oh, hi, Kira. You, want a drink or anything? Raj and Zara are making a signature cocktail. No, thank you. I don't feel like drinking. Is this about Alistair? No. I mean, a little. Okay, yes. Alright, we're being the therapist again. Take another drink. Good lord. Like, I get why everyone's mad at him. He shouldn't have lied. That was wrong, I agree. But I understand why he did it. I understand why he felt like he had no choice. And he must feel so bad. Okay, like, don't project emotions onto Alistair that we don't know are actually there. Just saying. Is that all? Grace looks at you and lets out a long sigh. Look, I'm not the most socially skilled person in the world, and maybe I'm just misreading the signs. But for a while there, it felt like he was opening up to me. Like he was dropping that acerbic bitter shell and showing me his real self. You like him? I do. Now I might never have a chance to tell him so. He's literally still here, Grace. What the hell? Of course you're gonna make me pay for this choice. You should, so for, 16 diamonds, go tell him how you feel right now, or leave him alone. Well, if we pay the diamonds, we get a clue, so go tell him how you feel right now, young lady. Even though I do not approve of Alistair. You think so? Look, we are stranded on a mysterious island full of terrifying creatures, and there's an army of blue-skinned warriors gearing up to attack us. Fair point. If there was ever a time to tell a guy how you feel, it's now. Or a girl, Kira. Don't be judgy. In fact, you know what, just for that, take a drink. Fuck your heteronormativity. Yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah. Grace takes several deep breaths. Grace Tamara Hall, you got this. Go get him, Grace. She takes a few steps, then turns around. Do you think maybe you could come with me for moral support? Sure. The two of you take the elevator up to the rooftop garden. The doors slide open. And you see Alistair huddled against the railing, clutching his bleeding hand. A dozen shards of broken glass lie around him. Alistair, what the hell did you do? Don't do this toxic masculinity bullshit. Alistair! She runs over to him, kneeling down by his side. Grace, what are you... What happened? I accidentally smashed a glass. Cut my hand, quite unfortunate. Yeah, accidentally my ass, Alistair. Oh, I was mad, so I broke something. No! Jesus Christ, no. Let me see. It's fine, just leave me be. I can handle it. You're bleeding badly, Alistair. We need to wrap this up. Grace takes Alistair's hand in hers. She looks around for something. Here, use this leaf. Sure. You rip a thick green leaf off an unusual potted plant and hand it to Grace. She wraps it around Alistair's hand and he winces. Did you get the glass out of the wound first? Because that's important. Better? Perhaps a little. Now leave me be. Wow, fuck you, Alistair. Wait, I wanted to... I said go, Grace. Please, I beg of you. I beg of you? Who says that? So we can say, I really think you should hear her out, or, hey, asshole, shut up and listen to her. I'm not even going to bother being nice. Hey, asshole, shut up and listen to her. Grace, I had no idea we had so much in common. Neither did I. And yet, in a weird way, I feel like maybe I kind of did. From the minute we got off that plane, I felt drawn to you. And as totally insane as this past week has been, the highlight has been the time we've spent together. Aww. Grace, you deserve so much better than Alistair, I'm just gonna say. You really do. You're smart and interesting, and you have a real kindness in you buried so deep, like a diamond at the heart of 1,000 feet of stone. Okay, this is my problem with the Grace-Alistair relationship, is that this is very much like kind-hearted woman saving the asshole man, and I'm not here for it. Y'all, it's not your job to fix someone who's toxic and won't work on their own shit. If they're gonna work on their own shit, that's fine. But it's not your job to be, like, seeing the good in somebody who is routinely and habitually an asshole on purpose. So, no. No. No, no. Grace, you understand me. Of course, you dummy. Smiling, Grace steps up close to Alistair and stretches up on her tiptoes. Oh my god! Okay, look at how cute this is. This is adorable. Again, I have problems with this relationship, but look at that. That's so cute. Look at Grace. Look how cute she is. She's like a little Velma. Only cuter. Oh my god. This is adorable. Okay. Alright. Still don't like you, Alistair, but look at how cute Grace is. You be good to her. You break her heart, I break your face. Alistair's cheeks flush a deep pink. I like you. And I like... You had better follow that up with you. God damn it, Alistair! Heavens! He holds up his hand, the one he'd cut earlier, in disbelief. As you and Grace stare, he unwraps the leaf, to reveal that the cut has been completely healed. This seems important. Whoa. You hop back into the elevator and head down to the lobby. The rest of your friends are there. Jake lounges by the bar. Estella practices combat by the doors. Sean scans hotel blueprints. Quinn sprawls in a big comfy chair. And Diego comes bounding around a corner. Hey, Akira! How are you holding up, Diego? Oh, you know, ups and downs, peaks and valleys. Found some chips in the kitchen. Gonna get murdered by a bunch of Lord of the Rings rejects. Oh my god. Diego is usually good for the genre savvy, so take a drink. The usual. Yup, genre savvy. Well, at least you got some chips, though. Salt and vinegar, baby. The best. He looks out at the 4 others hanging out. Don't think we would define Estella as hanging out, but okay. So, you gonna... You know... Am I gonna... what? Ugh, do I seriously need to spell it out? Make a move! Oh my god, Diego! What? Come on, Kira. I've seen the way you've been acting. Flirting, teasing, staring out with those ba-dum hard eyes. The fact that we're all cartoons indicates that possibly we have literally been having heart eyes at somebody. So, what are you waiting for? Go get that steamy R-rated action. My god. Oh my god, T for teen. We can't be rated R, it's T for teen. PG-13, technically. I mean, now? We sure this is the moment? This might well be our last night on Earth, Kira. What better time than now? I mean, we did just get done, like, shoving Grace and Alistair together, so... You look out again at the lobby and decide Diego's right. This is the time. The time to take this all the way. The amount of normativity is scorching in here. Oh my god. So we have the option of Sean, Quinn, Estella, no one, or Jake. I think y'all know where I'm steering this, so... Hey, Jake. For 30 diamonds, there had better be a payoff in this. You walk over to Jake and poke him in the shoulder. Help you with something, princess? Just seeing what you're up to. Stop being coy. We know what's coming. Trying to see if we've got any good whiskey left. You? Stop it! Not a whole lot. Just wondering if maybe you wanted to come with me to my room? No, I'm with you, Echo. Salt and vinegar chips to me are absolutely disgusting. I won't say that cheddar and sour cream ruffles are the best. What I actually loved was sour cream and onion lays, but I can't have those anymore, so I'm pretty much relegated to barbecue, just straight up onion or plain, so I go for plain now. But there's sour cream involved. Some good stuff. Jake pauses. His eyes meet yours. Like we didn't kiss while we were dying. Come on. Okay, we're finally gonna reference it, thank God! I was afraid this was just gonna be, like, relegated to random choice that we're never gonna reference again. Okay. Payoff. This was not worth 30 diamonds. You remember that moment underwater. That shared kiss as you both sank. Filled with regret that you never got to spend a night in each other's arms. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, I do. Okay. Okay. This is terrifying. If there is one character in the history of choices that I feel like this music does not suit, it is Jake. Okay, maybe Estella. I don't feel like this suits Estella either. But yeah. Okay. You stroll into your room, leading Jake by the hand. There's a nervous energy in the air, a tension, a hovering sense of anticipation. Okay. Sure. You walk over to the window and look at the island, at the columns of smoke, at the beautiful night sky. We're gonna close the curtains. Jake paces over to stand by your side. You look into his eyes. Okay. Hey, you. Hey. And then you both come together in a passionate, frenzied kiss. The whiplash in tone, y'all. Oh my god, okay. Well, he likes it. Oh my god, close the curtains! The two of you slam back against the window. Kissing, nuzzling, biting. Biting? What are we biting? Please be careful with the biting, kids. Your breath comes fast, and your heart pounds in your chest. Yes! 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 I don't know. You reach down and rip off Jake's shirt, tossing it across the room. He grins and presses forward, pushing you against the wall as he kisses along the side of your neck, and closes the curtains for the love of God. We're giving the watchers a show here. God, you're gorgeous. I can't be serious with that voice, y'all. You run your hands along Jake's torso, feeling the taut, firm muscle. Less talking, more kissing. Oh, okay. Alright. Wouldn't you like that? I don't know, I feel like you would too. You're not a talker. You pull your shirt off over your head, and then Jake's strong hands are all over you, caressing, stroking. The two of you stagger along the wall, kissing so rough it almost hurts. Calm down, you're gonna like get chapped lips and shit, you two. Jesus. You knock over... Oh my god! Oh my god! The aloes are not okay. You knock over a chair and smash a flower vase, but you don't care. There's candles all over this room. We are going to start a fire, and then we're going to have to explain ourselves. Y'all. Suddenly, Jake sits straight up in bed. Did you see that? What? See what? I thought I saw something move outside, just by the window. But, Jake, we're nowhere near the ground floor. Yeah, I know, that's why I'm... Okay. Our Navi stalker is back, I see. Cool. The bedroom window explodes in a hail of glass, each shard gleaming in the moonlight. Ah! A figure swings through, landing solidly on his feet. His golden eyes glowing in the darkness lock with yours. He says nothing, he just stares at us like a stalker. Kira, run! Oh, sure, that's where they leave us.